Okay, let me sit down. And what we have here, let me get this around here. We can kind of get this. We have a little project here. The bird is very, very tiny, but you can make it bigger, in other words. But what we've got here is a piece that is about 4 inches long, and let me see, let me get my, well, no, hold on, let me get my 4 inches long, and trying to look for some easy projects, 3 inches wide, in other words. And what this is going to be is this is going to be a little bird on a limb, is what it is. We had a little bird on an apple, we're going to have a little bird on a limb. And basically, this is 3/4 inch wood, is what it is. And we're going to just make us a little piece here. It's going to work for us. The first thing we want to do is take this and start bringing this now you're going to be against the grain here a little bit, so make sure that your knife is sharp. I'm going to come over on the other side also. And just like a limb on a tree, we're going to come down with this. Okay, see? And of course, this part, we want to be careful with it, will be brought down to a point. We're going to make a very thin limb here, so we're going to take a lot off of it, in other words. Now you're going against the grain here, so you want to be careful. You want to make sure your knife is sharp. This is a real simple little project that you can do. Use a push cut here. Now the grain will change dramatically as you go down towards the end here. And as you get down, you begin to and let's go ahead and bring this down just a little bit in here. So, but we don't want to make this too thin in here because we have a lot to go with on here. We're going to thin that up quite a bit. See how I hold my hand here? See how I hold it? Keep it from breaking it. Now, of course, the limb is too thick. So we're gonna come down a little bit, in which case we have to change directions here. And then we're going to change directions here. Now when you get into this in here, this is pretty thin, so we want to see how I'm holding my hand here to keep it from see how we're doing? See this? We're gonna be sure that we want to carve there we go. We want to be very careful. Now underneath here we can use this cut like this, in other words. But you want to be very, very careful when you get into that, because see how we're doing it? See this? You want to be very, very careful in the thinness that we get. Go to cutting it off. In fact, that's looking real good right there. Looking real good. I want to take a little bit off here. Now, when we come down to here, we're going to sort of scoop up a little bit so we can get sort of a trunk type look on both sides. Now, of course, this has all got to come down. This has all got to come down. The sides. And kind of and let's begin to just bring, go with the push cut here because it changes on me. My grain changes on me so much. This grain really changes heavily. And we just kind of okay. Just kind of have a let's bring this down. I want to bring this down quite a bit. Okay, as we okay, let's look at our piece now as we begin to bring this down. And we're going to thin this up quite a bit. Like I said, we have to remove a lot of wood. This changes grain about halfway down, and it okay, we're thinning it up pretty good now. We're getting there where we want it. See? As we look at it, we're getting it where we want it. Let's bring this. Now as we get toward the top here, we're going to get that where it kind of thinner towards the top than towards the bottom. Okay, as we look at this now, okay, as we look at it now, we're starting to get some things here. I want to thin this up just a little bit in here. I want to be careful because this is very, very thin in here. On the other side. There it goes. Looking good. Looking good. You ask yourself, well, that's a lot of carving. Not really. It's you could probably use 1/2 inch wood. I just use 3/4, but you can probably use 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch basswood, and it'll work. I probably got a little too thick of wood in here. That's all right. It's not a big deal because I knew I was going to take quite most of it off, a lot of it off. In other words. All right. Now we'll finish this up, and I think my time is up probably right now for this first piece. Now the little bird is small, so see? So, and we'll take our V-tool or our gouge and we'll make some cuts into the wood itself, in other words, to make it look kind of realistic and stuff like that. All right, well, we will come back and we'll start on the little bird. You just have 2 pieces that you have to get, and like I said, you could have used 1/2 inch basswood, and because I think I've got this down to about a little over 1/4 of an inch thick. In other words, I just wanted to use 3/4. All right, okay.